All right, we're back. Coon Prairie Ramblers doing some more confabulation with mind meandering. We're going to talk about the if bomb.
The if bomb is falling again.
I felt that reverb.
Mm-hmm. Where are we going with it?
Casey,
Well,
lead us off.
I was thinking, what if you could go anywhere in the world that you would like to go at this present moment that you've never been, that you've always been interested in?
I love this.
Where would it be?
How long do you get to stay?
Well, long enough to
A
finish.
day?
No, I'd say longer than that. Long enough to finish seeing what you want to see.
A week. Give them a week.
Give them a week.
Where are we going?
You know, I only need a day in any one
Yeah?
place. Yeah, because I get bored easy.
Where are you going, Mr. Mailman?
Well, send me to Israel.
Israel.
I want to go see
Right
what,
now? It's kind of dangerous over
Oh
there.
yeah,
isn't it?
I want to see what's happening. But see, that's why, like I said, only for a day. Then get me out of there.
So you want to go to the Wailing Wall and
Oh yes, you know what? I
Golgotha.
know in my mind just exactly where the Wailing Wall is geographically, how it's connected to the dome, to the
Temple.
the Temple Mount, and I mean I've got it all pictured out. I've got the route and everything. But I would love to go there.
Well, you could almost pass for a Hasidic Jew while you were there.
Yeah, you could get a little yarmulke on
Yeah.
your head. And,
Prayer in one of the cracks in the wall. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, you could pass for one of the locals over there, I think. Your rabbi beard there.
Mm-hmm.
Would you want to go as part of a tour, or would you just want to go
I
on
would
your
like
own?
to go on my own. And I know a fella. I know a man over there who has an apartment, and he says from his apartment he can see the Dome of the Rock.
Wow.
So I go, wow, how cool is that?
Pretty good digs
Yeah.
right there.
I go to the rock.
Of my salvation. Anyway, that's where I'd go.
What else is over there to see? You got
All kinds of stuff.
Golgotha.
Golgotha, the hill of Golgotha, all the temples.
And from what I understand, some things
the
would
Mount
be
of Olives.
Mount of Olives. You can see that from from that area.
Supposed places where everything happened is what they're saying. Every place that something really happened, they've built a temple on top of. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and covered it.
And there's a lot of archaeology going on. There's they're digging tunnels or finding things down in the city of David, the old city, and a lot of things going on. Oh, you're going to Google some
Israel.
stuff.
Now, my buddy Bruce went over there by himself. He couldn't find anybody to go with him, and he brought back pictures of himself on a camel and, seeing this and seeing that. He said he didn't really enjoy the food over there because they'd bring him dishes that had fishes cooked with their heads on them, and he couldn't find anything he liked. So one time he saw the corn was available, so he got a big plate of corn and brought it out. It was been taken off the cob, and but it was all pickled. The whole pile of corn was pickled. He doesn't like pickled stuff, so he had a miserable time eating over there, but he enjoyed the stuff he saw. This is Royce's brother that we were talking about earlier.
Well, that's where I'd like to go, and in either that or Mount Everest.
Mount Everest. All right. Where are you going, Casey?
I'd like to go to Machu Picchu.
Oh yeah.
That to me is one of the most interesting.
What? Is that where they have those cartoon characters running? What is it called? Pikachu's?
No, no.
Gesundheit.
Machu Picchu is in Peru,
Peru.
and when the Spanish conquistadors were in South America, they never discovered or found Machu Picchu. It's very high, so it still exists to this day. Not completely as it was, because the inhabitants of Machu Picchu.
That was a city, like a lost city or something?
Right, and they're not sure, exactly, what it was all used for, or it was a place. So, it's a very high. I would just like to see it because it's not commercialized. It's not, that is just the way it was. But I'm sure, my physical abilities would probably hinder me in not being able to do exactly what I want to do, because it's
Well, a lot of people, because there's less small amount of oxygen up that high.
yeah, it's like 7,000 feet or more
many-
than that.
Centuries has it been abandoned there?
Oh, since back probably 1700s.
Yeah.
Wow, but there are no people living whose families live there, no descendants?
No,
How do they know it's up there?
some explorer found it, and when he found it, it was completely overgrown, and they had to whack it out and all. But I'm talking, you're talking about a giant area. I mean, it's not like a little
Is it
spot. It was a
City.
huge city. Yeah, and,
Can you imagine
But
if
I
it-
would just like to see that for that. I would rather see things that are not commercialized. Like I don't. If I'd never been to Disney World, I would not really have a great desire to go there now.
I heard that.
I don't want to go to Orlando to see the commercialized version of Orlando. I'd rather go somewhere to see Florida. I want to go see
Real
old
Florida.
or
Real
real Florida. But I think the other place, other than that I might like to go right now, and I guess it's up in the air whether or not some people think you shouldn't, but I'd love to visit Cuba because it's like lost in time.
Well, it's pretty soon you're going to be able to, I think.
Yeah, but it's lost in the 60s almost,
That's exactly
and it's
right.
not commercialized. It doesn't have a Hard Rock cafes, and
It'd be like going back in time.
Exactly.
You better get
Exactly.
over there soon because
I'm sure that within a very short period of time it'll be
It'll
commercialized.
be changed. It's going to explode.
But there'll still be areas there that you can see that
When
are.
Fidel and Raul are gone, I mean, it's really going to go crazy then.
But that's my spot, Machu Picchu and Cuba.
Cuba. I would probably like to go down in one of them submarines to see Titanic. Now, I've been a Titanic nut since the late 60s. I didn't wait till the movie came out.
Yeah.
I read this 1950s book by Walter Lord called A Night to Remember. And they even made a movie back in the 50s about the Titanic. And I've been collecting books ever since then, way before the movie came out and everybody became a fan. But I'll tell you what I'm against is them tearing the thing apart and bringing up artifacts. That's like grave robbing to me. I would go down there and look at it, but that would be it. I don't even go to these exhibits when they brought stuff up. As much as I love Titanic, I think it's sacrilege. That's like, well, I like George Washington. Let's go dig him out of the grave and let's pass his skull around or something. I feel that sacred. That it is that sacred or whatever. So I would never touch anything. I would like go down and observe it and come back up.
that's good.
That would be very interesting.
Well,
Wasn't there a Broadway play, The Unsinkable Molly Brown? Wasn't that
Unsinkable
about,
Molly Brown, about one of the actual
She
passengers.
survived it.
Yes, she did. I think about 1,500 survived. Or
So all of
1,500 died.
there up to recently, there were some survivors. I think they've all gone, right?
Yeah, the last one died a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And she was an infant back then. That was 1912 when it sank.
Incredible.
But the movie was really good. And James Cameron was true to the ship itself by filming it, recreating the ship as close as possible. The model he built, they used to film was like 3/4 size, but you could shoot angles to make it look even bigger. And they only filmed one side. They only built one side of the Titanic. And they would reverse the picture, reverse the image or whatever to show the other side of the ship. Is how they did that. And if you look at old pictures of Titanic on the only voyage it had, there's some famous photographs of this happening and that happening. Those scenes were recreated. If you've seen those photos a number of times, you would watch the actors doing this, and all of a sudden that they would be in that exact position, but it would keep moving.
It would be familiar.
And you would
It would be
recognize.
familiar to you.
That's right. You would recognize that scene right then. And he was true to that.
Man, that is choreography.
But if you ignore Leonardo and Kate Winslet, if you ignore the love story and their characters, which is all fictional, almost 99% of the whole thing was exactly as it happened.
Is it lying at a depth that you can actually,
It's 2 miles.
so you couldn't free dive? Not free
No,
dive,
you
but
know you,
couldn't scuba dive.
you have to go down in a pressurized thing, and it takes hours and hours to get down there.
Yeah, and they have the machinery to do that now.
Yeah, they can lower you down, and they have these little subs that fly that swim around with cameras and go inside and stuff. But it's slowly deteriorating and falling apart. It's not going to be around much longer. But.
I don't know if I could go with you, Luke, because I think I'm enough claustrophobic that I wouldn't be able to join you on that trip.
As long as I got a bathroom and a coffee pot, I'm there.
Because I have to be sedated to get in the MRI. So
Well, we can knock you out till we get down and wake you up. We're here.
When that sedation comes off and I'm in a little bitty container. Oh, where are we? Oh, we're 2 miles down.
We might have to knock you out again, huh? All right. Well, where would you go? What's on your bucket list? You're talking about places to go you really want to see. What's on your bucket list that maybe you have seen, things that you always wanted to see? You been anywhere? Grand Canyon or whatever?
Mount Rushmore.
You've seen that? You climbed it or you just saw it from the...
Well, you can only get so close to it. Get up to the scree. You know what scree is?
What is a scree?
Scree is the fallen rock. You know, the rock debris where they chipped away at. It's called scree. If you're a mountain,
I learned a new word today.
If you're a mountain
Y'all did
climber,
too.
that's scree. That's loose rock that you're walking
Scree.
up. And then sometimes you accidentally knock it off. You know, I'm talking about if you're a mountain climber. And then if you knock a piece of rock off and there's people down below, you're supposed to say, rock!
It's kind of like the butterfly effect. You kick a pebble down and it starts hitting other stuff, and next you know you have an avalanche.
Well, I'm sure that's how avalanches start. Just
Yeah,
from
a little bit of snow.
barely movement. And all of a sudden it starts snowballing.
That's right. There's a snow rabbit on top of the mountain. He starts scratching itself, and a little bit of snow starts moving. Next thing
Or
you
a
know,
butterfly lands on
a butterfly.
a bush, and that bush leans over and
That's right. Here comes the avalanche.
Yeah. Yeah. But Mount Rushmore, you have no idea how awesome it is until you get out there to see it.
I saw it from a distance. I saw that.
Oh, yeah. Well, when you first see it, it is from a distance because, you're kind of like on flat land, and then you're riding along, and then that's...
And you see it for miles.
Yeah.
And miles and miles.
It's just
and
sort
miles.
of a little sort of a mountain or a rock in the middle of nowhere.
And you can't judge how big it is just by
Right,
looking at
right.
it. Even when you go to the Mount Rushmore museum, and where you stand and view it out there, you really can't tell how big it is because it's so far away. But it's really enormous.
Yeah. Yeah. And all of a sudden, when you do see it, you say, hey, there's 3 heads out there in the middle of nowhere.
There better be a fourth.
Yeah. Oh, 4 heads. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
somebody stole one of them.
Well, one of them is kind of set back in a recess, and that would be Teddy Roosevelt. Or,
Yes, that's Teddy.
Yeah. I guess there's 3 Yeah, it really, he is kind of...
Three
He's in the
prominent.
shadows. He's in the shadows.
And somebody was saying on Facebook yesterday that there's a hidden room inside Teddy Roosevelt's head. I don't believe that.
No, I don't.
It's like to get inside Teddy Roosevelt's head. Go do it. But they said that's true. I don't believe it.
I don't think.
What have you seen?
I saw the Geico lizard looking out of one of them's eye.
That was on your bucket list?
No, I saw that on TV.
Oh, that's right. He's walking around in there.
I don't even think he realized where he was.
That's,
But on my
Did he
bucket
pay
list,
for Did he pay a ticket to get up there?
I'm sure he did.
probably.
There's just tons of places I'd really love to see that I haven't seen. I'm not a very well-traveled person. I've been far north as Fort Wayne, Indiana, and that's it. I did a lot of actual traveling when I was a small child that I don't even
Oh, too bad.
Remember.
It wasn't for the fact that I lived in California, but I wouldn't know that if somebody hadn't told me. Lived in Norfolk, Virginia, and I can remember that a little bit. I remember certain things about it, but we lived in several different places, but I really don't remember them. I remember living in Miami, but as far as after being an adult and traveling, I really haven't done a lot. Kind of wish I had, but that goes back to that butterfly effect.
Oh, yeah.
It could be as simple as, like I would tell Mel, like when you lived in New Orleans,
Right.
maybe you'd have been walking down the street and you said, well, that's interesting, I'm going to take a right.
Sure.
But had you not taken a right and went straight forward, maybe you'd have locked eyes with some young lady and she'd have locked eyes with you.
That's
or
right.
walked up and met, married, stayed there for the rest of your life.
And everything would have been different.
Everything would be different.
Right. Just like I tried to
There
go.
would be no Coon Prairie Ramblers.
No, Coon Prairie. Well, it'd be 2 of y'all. You'd have somebody else here. But
I don't think it would have ever happened. And, you wouldn't have the wife and the children and the grandchildren you have now. So
that's right. That is right.
So which-
it could be that.
So which way did he turn?
He turned right, and he could have gone straight.
Oh.
and it must have got
Do you,
lost.
do you remember that?
I remember that was 1964 to 67. I lived out there. But
That was a
I
long
vaguely
time
remember
ago.
it. Yeah, it was back in
He was
the
a
day.
kid, he was a child then.
I was a mere child.
Oh,
but
okay.
I remember it.
So you didn't intend to go there. You were there because of your parents.
Father was stationed there in the Coast Guard.
Oh.
I was there for 3-4 years.
I was in the country of Laos, and nobody was allowed to be in Laos. Oh,
I thought it was Laos.
Laos.
You didn't come back with any louses or lices or
Oh,
nits, did you?
too bad. We're all out of time, folks.
We'll have to do some more nitpicking later.
Coon Prairie Ramblers is coming to an end here, but we'll be back next week.
Same bad time, same bad channel.
Yeah.
Touch that channel. We will see you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.